अद्य जनाः आगच्छन्ति वा न वा? नागच्छन्ति वा?
Holiday, they don't know. Yeah.
Holiday mode. सर्वे विश्राम अवकाशः समाप्तम् अभवत् इति
Samaptam. Yeah. Samaptam.
चिन्ता नास्ति, प्रारम्भं करिष्यामः, यत्किमपि कर्तुं शक्यते, चिन्तयामः, चिन्ता नास्ति। ओके, computer, yeah. ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये दोर्भिर्युक्ता चतुर्भिस्फटिकमणिमयीं अक्षमालां दधान हस्तेनैकेन पद्मं सितमपि च शुकं पुस्तकं चापरेण भासा कुन्देन्दुशङ्खस्फटिकमणिनिभा भासमाना समाना सा मे वाग्देवतेयं निवसतु वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकेर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को नयाति पराङ्गतिं गोष्पदीकृतवाराशिं मशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायण महामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं वैदेही सहितं सुरद्रुमतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने संस्थितम् अग्रे वाचेति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं नमोऽस्तु रामाय स लक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः हरिः ओम्। अस्तु, सर्वेभ्यः सुस्वागतम्। एकं कार्यं करिष्यामः इदानीं। गतसप्ताहे वयम् एकं प्रसङ्गः प्रार्थितवन्तः। किं कृतवन्तः? इदानीं किं पाठान् ज्ञायेत् वयं? What did we learn so far? Okay, want some comments on that. Last week some people were there and we had some discussion around it. Sushila Mahodaya was there, Chitra Mahodaya was there, Subramani Mahodaya was there. So those who have not, we can start off with that. From then onwards, we'll see a couple of things that I want to address and we'll take it up from there. Okay? Okay. So before that, what I can perhaps do is, do you want me to chant the first 50 shlokas or shall we just start the class?
I think we can start the class.
We can start the class. We'll do that. Okay. Good. So Subramani Mahodaya started off saying, okay, he had a little bit more confidence in talking about looking at Samskrita shlokas and not be very overwhelmed by the intents of Sanskritam that is there, or what is it that is going on, long words, very long, this one coming and all that. That was one thing that he said. Okay. I would like to hear from others, what is it that you have all come up with? Also, I heard, who was there last time? Somebody else said they liked this one. Yeah, Vijaya Mahodaya is not there today. So yeah, she said, I did get to know some insights and all that. Okay. So let us start. Who wants to start now? Parvati Mahodaya.
The first thing I learned when we first started this, I loved the way the poetry in Sanskrit is. The way they describe it, so different from other languages. I love that. Yeah. And I'm I'm learning the Ramayana better now, I think, than the stories I heard from my grandfather. After that, I haven't really read it, or so I'm enjoying this class. Yeah.
Okay. So any key message that you think you can take home from this so far?
So far, I've got only the language part of it. I haven't really gone in depth into understand. I think I need to go further to.
Okay. From the language part, what do you take home?
Yeah, that's a beautiful language, and the way they express and the way things are said are so different, so beautiful. Yeah, that's my take. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, unique. It's very different. And you need to put in effort to understand which word goes with what, and yeah,
Which word goes with
with
what?
what. Yeah. So otherwise, it can be easily mistaken. The adjectives, which is the dvitiya, which is to put them all into some order. And I'm getting better at that because in the beginning it was a bit confusing. Now it's easier to understand.
Oh.
I mean, it's still not. It just doesn't come like that, but less effort, little less effort is needed.
Less
It's
effort.
yeah.
So that overwhelming of seeing a Sanskritam shloka and getting lost with it is sort of gone.
It's decreasing.
It's a decrease. Good.
Because the vocab is still not all that good. So.
Okay.
And also, I enjoy recognizing all the vibhaktis. And I think I'm good at that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That is good. That is some level of confidence. Yes, that is
Yeah.
and come up with it. Yes. Okay.
Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawadaha. Okay. Let's start with Fran Mahodaya.
Namaskara.
Namaskar.
Thank you so much for these classes. I've enjoyed a lot learning the Paracheda. I think that is a very hard approach. I mean, for me at least, because when you don't know all the santis and you face a shloka or any other Sanskrit verse, doing that, it's like a relief of an anxiety at first. And then you know that you have to go step by step. And instead of, in terms of a more spiritual approach, I would say that I've enjoyed it a lot, doing these readings, because I've read the Ramayana in English before. I've tried translating verses before, but it's never been like fully oriented toward this. So it sets the environment for the perfect study atmosphere for me.
Perfect. That is very good. So going forward, once we complete these 100 shlokas, this is probably in the next 2 months or so. We have completed 50 in about 2 months. So it shouldn't be beyond end of March. I think we should be done with all the shloka. At least by end of February or latest by early March, we should be done with it. So going forward, you'll be taking up each sarga and taking a few shlokas, and will you be doing it, Fran Mahodaya?
If I will be doing it, yes.
Yeah, that is what actually that is the idea for this whole course, this exercise. If everybody can actually do it, that is the best thing that you can get to learn Sanskritam, because Ramayanam is the easiest of the kavyas. If you look at one of the easiest of the kavyas, it is not like Kalidasa where there will be multiple meanings for a given word and multiple things that will come up. So that's why it is pretty nice and it is straightforward. In fact, it is very interesting to take it up that way and go through it. Okay, so that will be a very nice thing, and everybody should take it up as something to do. Okay, so good. Okay, Tejal Mahodaya, you want to share something?
Not really. Actually, I couldn't attend all the lectures, but overall the classes are very systematic and organized in an organized manner.
You have muted yourself.
Yes, Mahodaya.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Nagaprabha Mahodaya, भवती संस्कृतम् उत्तमं संस्कृतं जानाति.
हाँ महोदय।
भवत्याः संस्कृतम् उत्तमम् अस्ति.
सर्वं शिक्षकस्य उपकारम् अस्ति महोदय।
तत्र सर्वम् अस्तु. अत्र किं key message किम् अस्ति अत्र? What is it that you want to take away, that you want to share on Ramayana?
Your presentation is very nice, and we are every class is very interesting Mahodaya. It's
That is
very
all
interesting.
okay. That is the class part. I'm talking of Ramayana per se.
Ramayana part.
Do you have anything that you want to take home? Anything? Or any question that you have that you want to put out? We should address. Okay. Okay. I'll come last is Nilima Mahodaya. Okay, Nisha Mahodaya.
Yes.
Yeah,
For
can you
me,
just mute? I think there is flute. Somebody is playing flute and this. Nisha Mahodaya.
For me, Ramayanam is very close to my heart because I have chanted it a couple of times, and here I am also now able to actually. I have made it a practice to read 10 shlokas of Ramayanam at least on a daily basis. Coming to the class here for Ramayanam, I am able to understand the Lataa, how to identify in the shlokam the karta, karak, and what is the verb and all that. So it is little more easy. Now I make an effort to try to see who is the speaker, what is being told, and as message, I would say that in different parts of the story or epic, there are many messages that we need to take home. So, for example, the Manthara story, it is actually for us to learn a lot from there. This Manthanam, like anybody can come and corrupt our mind anytime. We need to keep our sanity and follow the path of Dharma. So that lesson, and there are many small things, but before reading Ramayanam, I would not have that perspective on life. So I would say each and every episode gives us a better perspective on how to go about our work here.
Correct.
So yeah, and I can speak at length on any part of it or whatever, because I follow very closely on a daily basis. So yeah, it is very nice for me actually.
And Nisha Mahodaya actually has attended even Professor Mahadevan sir's class also. So she knows pretty much the end of Ramayana. So she is here as a specialist here who can give some good feedback on how to go forward also. So any feedback, anything that you think should change?
No, sir. It's going in a good way only. And actually, you're analyzing each and every shloka in such a way, in such depth that we cannot do it individually sitting at home. So that is a very big learning for all of us, I feel. So I'm very glad I'm here and attending. So I ensure that I don't miss any Ramayanam classes. Rest of the Sanskrit part is not easy for me, but this part I follow very well, and I'm very happy with the way it is progressing.
Thank you. Okay. Nilima Mahodaya, finally, you need to give a very critical remark on these things.
Not critical, sir. Namaste.
Namaste.
Not critical at all. In fact, we have sort of been brought up on Ramayanam, but in a very, story kind of a way. So we have seen Ram Leelas, we have watched the movie, we have read stories, we have heard stories, but this in-depth analysis, no, we've never come across. So the qualities and the various, the gunas and things, we just know it like a, story, a fiction kind of a thing. So that is a deep this thing for me, and now I want to read it in detail.
Very good. So you're also going to do each and every sarga, each and every shloka going forward from.
I hope so. And I was revising from the beginning, and I was trying to do the exercises, and I realized that helped me remember my vibhaktis, which I find very challenging. So
It will come as you revise. It will come. It will naturally come as you start revising and start doing it. That's a very natural flow. It will come. In fact, what I want to tell today is there is a. How many of you know the concept of avadhana? Avadhana kala. No?
The Bhavadhanam, the Dashavadhanam, Ashtavadhanam.
Ashtavadhana. Shatavadhana, Ashtavadhana.
And the people who are doing that is they are called Ashtavadhani, Dashavadhani, and all.
Correct.
They are
Correct.
doing so if the Ashtavadhani means they are capable of doing 8 different tasks at a given time. They can focus on 8 different tasks at a time.
Correct. Correct. So have you attended any?
No, I have seen people when I was studying in my school.
Okay.
So a person, Ramaya, he was the is Ashtavadhani, is the Dashavadhani, is actually blind.
In Tamil, is it?
In Tamil.
In Tamil, yeah.
So he had come to he visited our school also.
Very good, very good, very good.
And he is the Tamil Nadu government recognized and he used to do Ashtavadhanam. I mean, Dashavadhanam. So he is a very expert in Thirukural. And so you can ask so many questions in Thirukural, some number, or he will recite Thirukural in a reverse order. All these things he will be, but actually he is blind. So I have seen that, and his son also is doing it.
What's his name? Subramanian.
His son name I don't remember. His name is Ramaya.
Ramaya. Okay. I'll just check that. Okay. How many of you have heard? Yeah.
I didn't understand. So doing 8 different things.
I'll explain what this is. I'll just explain. How many of you have heard of at least Shatavadhani Ganesh?
Sir, I have heard one of our Jain Munis has had Ardha Sahasra Sata Ardha Sahasra 500 things. He heard 500 words, and simultaneously music was also going on, Gantanada or something, other noises also. So he could remember all those 500 items in same sequence, reverse order or random order, or on which number which item was there and everything.
Who is this Muni? Who is he?
Ajit Muni or something. I will share the video with you personally.
Sure. Okay. So, okay, let me explain for those of you who have not heard of Avadhana. What does Avadhana mean? Avadhana is an art form. Let's take it as an art form for now. So, in the current form, the way Avadhana is done in the modern day form, as Tejal Mahodaya said, is basically you need to do different things simultaneously. That requires a lot of mental concentration, power, etc. Now, usually, as she said, it is about music. It's not music, it's about poetry in a lot of sense. Okay, so on the go, you have to construct poems and give me a minute, there is something happening. I'll just be.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Same to you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, I missed the last few classes. Yeah, so I think I'm way behind. And no time to catch up on the videos either.
You've been traveling, I suppose.
No, I had my son and family visit purposes back.
Okay.
So yeah, coming back to Avadhana. So sorry about that. So Avadhana, basically, it's mostly in a poetic form. So you are expected to construct poems on the go and recite, and on a topic that is randomly given to you. So there is one Dr. Shatavadhani Ganesh who has done 100. As in 100 in the sense, there will be 100 people sitting and then bombarding you with questions. And one of them will be who is called an Aprastuta Prasangi. His job is to just poke you and distract you from doing things, from break your concentration and get away from it. So I was searching for it. Kannada, he's done a lot of Ashtavadhana, Shatavadhana. I've attended a few as well. I've attended the Shatavadhana as well. Now in Sanskritam, I just came across one video. It's a 3.5, close to 3 hours, 45-50 minutes of video, split into 2 parts. What I'll do, I'll share it with all of you after the class. It's in Sanskritam. It's fully in Sanskritam. He speaks very simple Sanskritam and very simply it is being done. Okay, first 40 minutes is all introduction, what it is. Of course, there is some function, so it has all its bells and whistles. Please bear with it and take time to watch it. It's a pleasure to watch such a thing happening. If you get bored at some point, take a break and then come back and watch it. That's all. So it is something, it is good. It is something like they will be, and there'll be a magic square that he'll have to solve. There's a full-fledged set of poetry. I think he was given the topic of, it was around that 370 abrogation time. So there was a lot of talk about Kashmir. So they said, okay, you construct a poem on terrorism or Atangwad in Sanskritam. And there are specific rules. You have to do it in Anushtup Chandas, and not just Anushtup Chandas. Somebody will tell you, okay, now you can't use this particular letter, and it'll keep on going. So,
that was what I was going to ask. They'll have parameters.
Yeah, there are enough parameters. There are enough parameters which can probably take your mind bogglingly away. From what I understand, he constructed a poem when 26 letters were done away with, and he was given, okay, half the set of alphabets is what you can use, half of the Varnamala you can use. So that was his caliber. He's been doing it since 1980. So
this is all part of our Indic culture. I mean, it's the way we did stuff.
Yes, it's part of the culture. It got somewhere eroded. Now it's probably coming.
Totally unaware.
Yeah, it's totally unaware. No, it's not just you. There are many people who are unaware of it. So that's where it is. I'll share this video with all of you. All right.
It is an art. It is basically it is an art, and I have the audio book of his son in Tamil. It is called Maname Mahaperam Sakti. That's mind is the superpower. And like you train your body with exercises, and you can train your mind also with a lot of exercises and bring it at control. If it is that, then everybody will be able to do this kind of task. That is what he deliberates in this that audio book, and with all small little stories, and it demonstrates how easy it is to remember and all those things. And he's training. There is as a group of students who are getting trained under.
Correct. No, there are many people like that. I heard there is one 8-year-old boy doing this in Telugu recently. Now he may not be 8. This was about 4 or 5 years back. So yeah. So there are people. There are people who are very well versed, very gifted in doing this, and it requires some level of talent. And of course, you can train over a period of time and start doing it. Shatavadhani Ganesh, now he must be around 50, 60-ish. So when he started, he was, I think, 1920. So that's how it is. And he's done it in, I think, 5 languages or 6 languages. And this is on the go. You have to construct poetry and keep doing it. So those of you in Kannada who know Kannada, it's very commonly he does. In Sanskritam, I came across a couple of them today. Then in he's done it in Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, I think pretty much in all of them. And as I understand, he knows about 18 languages. So that's where it stands. So yeah. Okay. Nilima Mode, you were saying something?
No, I just wanted to ask that this you mentioned Ganesh, no? So whether it was about Ganesh ji or was it the name of a person? So you just
It's
answered
name
it.
of a person. It's name of a person. Shatavdani R. Ganesh. His name is R. Ganesh. So that's how it is. Okay. So today what I wanted to do was something different, in the sense that there were a couple of questions that have been, that I mean, in very different forms, it has been coming to me in this platform, elsewhere, etc., etc., etc. One thing, for instance, Nilima Mahodaya asked, of course, it was Janasthana, he killed so many Rakshasas. So after all, it was their place. Why go about killing them? Right? So that is a very, we don't get a very clear answer in a lot of ways. So I want to address some of those issues today. Similarly, there were other challenges, other things like why go after somebody and kill? Why go after this and why do that? This is a question that comes to us very often, especially in the kind of educational environment that our generation has come up and said, that I would say in some sense a perverted sense of ahimsa. So let me just address that a little bit. So this is a question that has been intuitively, we know what is being done is right. It's all right. It's all good. It's all dharma prevailed in the end, and all that is right. Now, in our Shastras, if we go back, where is it that it says that should we do something, should we not do something, should action be taken, should action not be taken? That's a question that keeps bogging and coming to us all the while. So yes, so this was one question that I wanted to address. And well, as usual, if you have nowhere else to go, all you do is go back to Krishna, and Krishna will give you that answer. So I just went to Bhagavad Gita, and then when I read, when I just recently went through Daivasuri Sampatti Vibhaga Yoga, all of you must have done it. So let's just take a look at it from a little different perspective. I know that what Arjuna is told in there, and what we do from an Adhyatma perspective is one thing. Yes, these are all within us. We should take it out, and all the Vedantic study is one level. Let's look at it more at a dharmic level, from a dharma, from the threshold, from the base level of dharma, and see where it goes. Okay, so that was something that has been sort of saying, okay, before we introduce Ravana into the picture in the next class. So I just wanted I wanted all of us to keep this in mind when we have the picture of Rama and Ravana. Okay, so let me just take that. Where is it? Yeah. How many of you have actually gone through Daivasuri Sampat Vibhaga Yoga? Chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita. Sushila Mahodaya, Chitra Mahodaya. Of course, both of you are Vedantic scholars. So if there is any mistakes, so let me know. Yes, Nisha Mahodaya has also gone through. Yes, Nisha Mahodaya, you have any other question to ask?
No, sir, no.
Okay.
Just
Got it. Yes. So, okay. Let me then introduce Daivasuri Sampat Vibhaga Yoga and what it actually means to people. Before that, where is that? Okay. I've reordered the shlokas in this for the sake of convenience, and I think this is how probably I would understand Daivasuri Sampat Vibhaga Yoga if I were to redo the whole Bhagavad Gita and understand it. Okay, so we will just go through we'll go through the shlokas and then come back. So in Daivasuri Sampat Vibhaga Yoga, if you remember, this is the Shodasho Adhyaya. Panchadasho Adhyaye Arjunaya Krishna uktah. Krishnena uktah kim uktah Purushottama kaha. Purushasya uttamaha ka. Purushottama yoga. Okay. So that is the 15th chapter. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashtitaha Pranapana Samayuktam Pachamyannam Chaturvidam. That is one of the shlokas. Then what is that? there is that Ashwattham Prahur Avyayam, first shloka. Chandam Sime Iha Divyani. That shloka is also very, very common. So he has talked a lot about what Purushottama is, who is the right person, how to be, what is the kind of person one should be, and all that. Here, the 16th chapter takes a little bit of a twist and says, what are the kind of things that exist in the world? Okay, what is that existence? So what are the kind of different things that exist in the world? So let's go about this. So I just took this as the 6th shloka as the beginning. The first shloka is a little different, but just bear with me for a minute. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin दैव आसुर एव च दैवो विस्तरशक् प्रोक्ताः आसुरं पार्थ मे शृणु. हे पार्थ, मे शृणु. Shruno is this one here. Listen to me. Bhuta sargau. Dvau bhuta sargau. Daiva asura eva cha. प्रउक्तः लोके अस्मिन् दैवः असुरः एव च प्रउक्तः. हे पार्थ मे शृणु. दैवो विस्तरशः प्रोक्तः. दैवः विस्तरशः प्रोक्तः. So this is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. There are two kinds of things. One is the Daiva kind of people and the Asura kind of people. These are the two. There are Daivas and there are Asuras. Okay. Now we know what Daivas and Asuras are from our Puranic stories. There is always Indra is there and all those people keep on fighting with the Asuras, and there is a lot of things that keep on happening between them. Okay. Now, if you look at this whole thing, there are two things that come out. One is Daivi Sampat and other one is Asuri Sampat. Okay. And there's a clear distinction between what is a Daivi Sampat and what is an Asuri Sampat. Please note, if you look at this, this is Shakti Swarupa. Daivi, Asuri. Okay, it is not Daiva, Asura. It is not the Purusha, it's a Shakti. Shakti form. The Sampat comes from the Daivi, from the Shakti form. So there is, as the Puranic story goes, children of Ditis were Daityas, children of Aditi were Adityas. So that is a way of crudely classifying it, but that is not where we are going. What are these bhava? What is this Sampat of Daivi? Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhihi, Jnana Yogya Vastitaha, Danam, Damaha, Yagya. One minute, there should be Yagya. I got it wrong. Yagya. Okay. Yagya cha swadhyaya tapaha arjavam abhayam sattva samshuddhim jnana yogyavastitihi Danam damascha yagyascha swadhyayastapārjavam ahimsa satyamakrodha tyaga shanti apaishunam daya bhuteshva loluptvam mardavam hrira chapalam tejaha Kshamadritihi Shaucham Madroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. So in these three shlokas, Krishna is giving one minute. all the qualities of what is a Daivi Sampat. Who would be considered someone with a Daivi Sampat? So let us see each of these qualities. Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Yogya Vastitihi, Danam, Damaha, Yagyaha, Swadhyaya, Tapaha, Arjavam, Ahimsa, Satyam, Akrodaha, Tyagaha, Shantihi, Apaishunam, Daya, Bhuteshu, Aloluptvam, Mardavam, Hrihi, Achapalam, Tejaha, Kshama, Dhritihi, Shaucham, Adrohaha, Natimanita, Bhavanti Sampadam Daivi, Abhijatasya Bharata. Know that these are the things that are with Daivi Sampat. How many are there? Let's count. 1, Abhayam, 2, Jnana, Yoga Vyavasthitihi, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
26 values, Mahoday.
Yes, Mahoday. I also realized that. I'm just counting it so that people also get to know it. Okay, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 values, as Chitra Mahodaya rightly said. There are 26 values that are coming in Daivi Sampat. Let us see the meaning of these. Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhi. That is basically purity in your heart. Basically in your thought process. Purity in the thought process. Okay. Steadfastness. Jnana Yogya Vasthitahi. Steadfastness in gaining in your or rather instead of steadfastness, sincerity in your effort and dedication. That's what I would put it as. Dana. Dana is giving out alms and doing things. Damaha, always Indriya Nigraha. That is the other, this one which comes. Yagya. Yagya is, how many of you know what the concept of Yagya? Chitra Mahodaya can explain perhaps. Yagya Bhava. What is Yagya Bhava? What is Yagya?
What is that? Everything is Bhagavan in that way. Ishwaram.
Ishwararpanam. Ishwararpanam. Okay, that is in the 4th chapter. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi,
Yes.
Brahmanautam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. That is 4th. That is the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Okay, but before we go there, 3rd chapter he explains something as Yagya. What is the cardinal principle of Yagya in the 3rd chapter? Karma Yoga.
So you do yajna to gain things in life.
You do Yagya to gain things in life. Paraspara Bhava. Yagya is about a Paraspara Bhava. Basically, it is the Srishti. The process of Srishti itself is Yagya. So that's why it's every action that we do can be converted into a Yagya. That's what Chitra Mahodaya just said for the 4th chapter. But the framework of Yagya is, I do something that will bear some results for me. And doing it with the bhava of doing it for the sake of doing it is Yagya Bhava. Okay. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is basically always contemplating, doing, revising, repeating, etc. etc. Tapaha. Arjavam is straightforwardness. Ahimsa.
Mahodaya, Yajna Bhava is everything. We have to do Yajna, but with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, without whatever result we are getting, that acceptance, that is only Yajna Bhava.
Okay, there is a little difference. See, what happens is, if you do it with Brahmarpana Bhava, Krishnarpana Bhava, that is one form. The other form is Paraspara Sambhava. So if you remember, Stena Evaya, Stena Evacha, that's what Krishna says. Those who eat it without without giving it to others, they are as good as thieves.
Thieves.
That is the
Mithyachara.
Mithyachara. That is the third chapter. That is the framework of yajna which most common people will live with. Okay. You go to the next level of yajna bhava. So see, most of us want to think, have ishtakama dukha. That's what he says. Krishna says ishtakama dukha. I have given you this framework of yajna. Go milk your cow of desire.
In Kathopanishad, they say that yajna is done for him to go to Swarga. That is, he has a want for which he is fulfilling.
That is also one form of it. So, fulfilling your desires. That is the concept of yajna at a basic framework level. The next form of level is Krishnarpana Bhava, where you say, what is that term? Prasada Bhava, Prasada Buddhi.
Karma Yoga. That is, Krishnarpana Bhava is Karma Yoga.
No, Krishnarpana Bhava is Yajna Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga.
Okay.
Okay. The Karma Yoga part is for you to take, it's a Paraspara Bhava. When you say Indraya Idanna Mama, Devaya Idanna Mama, right? So that is with a form of, okay, you may be doing it for Lokarpana. That's also okay. But that still is a Lokarpana. It is not with no desire at all.
Something you want.
You are expecting.
Expectation. Yeah.
That's why Jnana Yajna. Even Jnana Yajna is with the expectation of Jnana.
Getting Jnana.
Right? And for that you need a bhakti or shraddha. If you read Taittiriya Upanishad, Shraddhai Vashiraha, that what is that? Shraddhai Vashiraha, Satya Dakshina Pakshaha, Rutam Uttara Pakshaha, then Yoga Atma, correct? Mahapucham Pradishtha. So, Jnana Vijnana Kosha, Vijnana Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. Right? So, that is the Yajna Bhava there. You are not yet in the Anandamaya Kosha, still in the Vijnanamaya Kosha. You have transformed from the Manomaya Kosha. But in the Manomaya Kosha, when you are there, that is the third chapter of Karma Yoga, which talks about Paraspara Bhava. Right? So, I'll give you that framework of yajna, do this. So, he has a yajna bhava and do it in the right way. So, that is the key thing. Do it with knowing what you are doing. Don't do it just for somebody is telling you, so don't keep doing something. Okay? Arjavam is straightforwardness. Ahimsa is not hurting, of course, that is known. Satyam, akrodaha. Akrodaha is absence of anger at a point. Shanti, apaishunam. How many know the meaning of apaishunam? I have written as not slandering, but still.
Not putting blame on others.
Not putting blame on others. That is one way. Another, that is right. Not blaming somebody else for your mistake, for whatever you have done, for whatever you get.
Not finding fault.
Not finding fault. And not talking behind somebody's back. Not slandering. Okay. Daya. Then Bhuteshwar, this one, non-covetousness. Okay. Mardavam, gentleness, modesty. Achapalam, unflickering, unwavering, steadfast. We had steadfastness. That's where Krishna is very clear. You have, he gives both the things. You do it this way, right? Okay. Tejaha, radiating. Shama. If you have these, obviously this radiating comes as a natural flow if you are following these other things. So, Shama is forgiving. Idhriti, fortitude. Shaucham, purity. Purity is not just Bahya Shuchi, but Antara Shuchi as well.
Yeah.
Then Nati Manita, that is no pride, no false pride. I should put it as false pride. Okay. So these are 26 Daivi Bhava. Daivi Sampat that one has to have. If you have this person will be considered a Daivi. Daivi Bhava. Correct? Okay. Now let us see the other thing. What is Asuri Bhava? Because there is a clear distinction, and we say that Asuri is not good, Daivi is good. Now, this clearly is defining the framework of Dharma vis-a-vis the framework of Adharma. Correct? Do you all agree? Is it intuitive enough at this point in time?
Yeah.
Because we are going to get a lot of questions. Why this should happen, why that should not happen, kind of things. If you need to resolve that, unfortunately, what we see is a symptom. At the end action is what we can see. The bhava behind that action, to understand that, we need to understand this Daivi bhava and the Asuri bhava there. Right? Because not just Ramayana, all the entire Indian knowledge system text will give you only in those forms. You will be made to see the end action, but you will have to go back and understand why that action happened, what was the bhava behind it, and if that conformed to dharma or not did not conform to dharma. To understand that, we need this framework. Okay? And this will resolve a lot of questions for us going forward. That's why just before I introduce Ravana and tell that he was good, bad, or qualify him, I want people to understand what it is. All right. Okay. Now let us see what he talks about Asuri. This is all. Take it as this one. Who is the Rakshasa? Basically, anger predominates their behavior. Fiendish, monster, etc., etc., etc. This is all known. What is the real definition of an asura? Asusu ramante iti asuraha. Basically, desire predominates their behavior. It is not thinking about, okay, what will happen to others or how things will be, whether it is right. Am I not taking a step back before they are acting on some action, taking an action, not doing a full-fledged analysis of the consequences of their action. Even if they do that analysis, consequences of their action, they would probably pursue on a wrong footing or have a wrong end in mind. That is what, whether here we have put it as loss of others, but it need not be for others. It can be for, I am safe, everything else goes to hell. That is the bhava. So let us just see what Krishna says. How many did we list out here?
26.
26. Let us see how many bhavas, how many sampat are listed out for Asuri. No.
Less.
Less? Okay.
More.
More? Okay.
Less,
How many more
less.
and how many less?
Less.
Chitra Modaya and Sushila Modaya cannot answer, but everybody else can have a number. Okay. Parvati Modaya says less.
Less.
Nilima Modaya said more. Okay. Let us see what happens now. Okay. 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 So, okay. Asuri Sampat.
True.
Dambo darpoti manascha krodaf purushyamev cha parushyamev cha agyanam chapi jatasya partha sampadamasurim pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha न शौचम नापि चाचारः न सत्यम तेषु विद्यते असत्यम अप्रतिष्ठन्ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्पर संभूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् एतां दृष्टिम् अवष्टभ्यः नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकामकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरं दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहात् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः चित्ताम् अपरिमेयाञ्च प्रलयान्तामुपाश्रिताः कामोपभोगपरमाः एतावदिति निश्चिताः आशापाशशतैर्बद्धाः कामक्रोधपरायणाः ईहन्ते कामभोगार्थम् अन्यायेनार्थ संचयान इदमद्य मया लब्धम इदम प्राप्स्ये मनोरथम इदमस्ति 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 इदमपि मे भविष्यति पुनर्धनम असौ मया हतशत्रुः हनिष्ये चापरानपि ईश्वरोऽहम् अहं भोगी सिद्धोऽहं बलवान् सुखी आढ्यो बिजनवासां वानस्मि कोऽन्योऽस्ति सदृशो मया यक्ष्ये दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञानविमोहिताः अनेकचित्तविभ्राताः मोहजालसमावृताः प्रसक्ताः कामभोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु च आत्मसम्भाविताः स्तब्धाः धनमानमदान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेन विधिपूर्वकम् अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रिताः मामात्मपरदेहेषु प्रद्विषन्तोऽभ्यसूयकाः. Okay, so
it's a lot.
it's a lot, right? So there are okay, 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3.
The other part of it all is only describing Asuri Bhava. Only 3 slokas for Daivi
So
Bhava.
Yeah. So we get how many are there? No. Okay. 3 shlokas are Daivi. A lot of it is Asuri. I think 3 or 4 are what to do with them in the world. Right? So that is how the whole Daivasuri Sampat Vibhaga Yoga is. This is a crash course of Daivasuri Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. If you want to take it, you can take it that way. So, in fact, each of these shlokas we can go for about 20 minutes each. But that is not the idea of this whole thing. So, we are not doing that. But yeah, this is what it is. There are a lot of them. Right? So, let us see what each one of them mean. Do they make common sense? So, see, our scriptures are very clear. If it is not appealing to common sense, discard it. Don't even take them at face value. So, we'll see if it appeals to our common sense. And then we'll map these onto the characters which we get in the next this one. All right? We can start doing that part. Okay. Dambaha, hypocrisy. Basically, yeah, that, pride. I can do this, but you'll say something, do something else, or profess something and preach something and practice something totally different. Okay. Darpa, arrogance. Atimanaha, self-conceitedness. Krodha here, this is another point. Krodha is not just anger. See, anger at some point is okay. Now there is a rage and wrath point, tipping point of that anger. Now here Krodha is to be taken from that point. This is what Shankara Bhashya says. Okay. Parushyam, harshness, extremely harsh with anybody and everybody. Asatyam, which is not in the commonsensical. Here, again, please be very careful. Last time I gave the example. Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Ubhayor api drishtontah tvanayos tattvadarshibhi. That sat is different from this sat here. Please make that very clear. That sat is the Paramatma sat, which is there is nothing beyond that. This sat is the Loka Satyam. Okay, there's a difference between a Loka Satya and Parama Satya. Okay. Because this Jagan Mithya, if you go to Shankaracharya, it says Jagan Mithya, what is that? Shivam Satya. Okay. So it will go to all those things. So here Satya means Loka Satya only. Asha Ucham.
Satya, Jagan Mithya.
Jagan Mithya, correct. Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, obviously. So this is not that, this is not Jagan Mithya, this is Jagat Satya only. This is the level at Jagat Satya that we need to take at. Ashaucham, unclean or unclean here, unclean need not mean from the external self.
Yeah.
It can be through thoughts as well. Thoughts are what manifest out as your bodily actions and things. All right. Na acharaha, wrong conduct. Right. Jagatahu anishwaram. Aparaspara sambhutam anyakamahitukam. World exists due to lust, without any supreme force beyond that. There is a lust, there is a force of lust that exists between all the things, and everything is because of that. That is the bhava that a lot of that's where I said you can actually map this onto people in your day-to-day where we come across in various points of time. It is that practical. So please keep these as a guiding rule for making decisions. It's a very, very useful thing. All our lives will become very, very helpful. It will become very helpful and will not get into the guilt traps and guilt trips if we know this different distinguishing factors. Okay. Kamam ashtritya dushpuram dambamanam danvitaha. Abiding in the principle of insatiable lust, full of hypocrisy, pride and arrogance. Basically, if you say karma is bad and you should not get into lust, that I will apply that onto you, but I will, all by myself, I'll be only in that lusting factor. That is the kind of hypocrisy that can be demonstrated. You can see the kind of people doing that today, day in and day out. Right?
Finding fault with others.
Huh?
Finding fault with others. Yeah.
Finding fault, not just finding fault with others. Finding fault with others is not wrong. Finding fault with others when you are yourself doing the same thing.
This.
Like I will do it, but I'll point out that you are wrong.
Yes, because you have a principle, so I will point out your principle. That principle will never apply to me. Correct. Yeah. See, who can point out a principle? Who can take a principled stand? Only one who is following principles. I will not follow principles, but that is your principle, so I'll point out to you that it is your principle. That is not acceptable. That is an asuri bhava. Please remember. We come across this day in and day out. You open anything and you will come across this.
Negative. Yeah. Negative.
Right? Especially people teaching us how Indians should live in the world. Okay? So please remember, these are all asuri sampat. Okay? Mohadrihitva satgrahanta pravartante ashuchi vrataha. Impure resolves. I will destroy this, I will do this, I will do that for whatever reasons. And this is not with the clear conscience of dharma. Saying I'll destroy this because something has to be established. Out of delusion.
Or is ego, sort of.
Ego. It could be ego, it could be delusion, anything. Ego is also to an extent.
Everything is damba.
Damba. Yes. Okay. Chintam aparimeyam cha layantam upashritaha kamopabhoga parama. Ever desiring and seeking sensual pleasures alone and worldly attractions. Okay. Okay. Asha, Pasha, yeah, I have it here. Okay. That will just go to the next thing. That is what, that I have it in the next slide. So that I have put it on. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you. Asha, Pasha, Shatair, Baddaha. Anybody knows what that means?
Greed. Asha. Greed, no? Asha.
Greed is not Asha.
Asha,
desire.
Desire, self-desire, or to satisfy, desire to satisfy whatever one wants to.
Okay, Nagaprabha Madhya was saying something.
Asha Pasha means bound by desires.
Bound by desires. How many times? How many types of desires?
Hundreds.
Hundreds of desires bind you and you are getting into it. Kama Krodha Parayanaha. You fall in that. Parayanaha is following that, going in that direction. Okay. Kama Bhogartam Anyayena Artha Sanchayan. What is Artha Sanchayan?
To satisfy or you to get it done.
No.
Like for his Kama Krodha, to satisfy his desires, he would go to any length.
Using your money or
collect wealth
sources.
Artha Sanchayam. Artha Sanchayam is getting wealth.
Collecting money. Wealth. Yeah.
Getting wealth how? Anyayena, not nyayena, anyayena. Anyayena pi kartum shakyate va. Kama bhogartham. To satisfy that asha pasha baddha, you are going to any extent, even doing anyaya to get that artha sanchaya. Okay? There are enough things that are happening. So all these are asuri bhava. Please remember, this is not dharma or anything. This is just asuri bhava in the person. And I'll just explain this concept of daivi bhava and asuri bhava. This asuri bhava, it's a flag. It is not something that is what do you say? It is not something that is it's a character. It's an inherent characteristic feature of the individual. These are not things that are these are not habits. These are characteristics. See, there's a difference between habits and characteristics. Habits can be changed. Characteristics of a person, character of a person need very different level of workings.
Ahankara bhava.
No, it is not even ahankara bhava. It's attitude. Attitudes are very different. Attitude pursues character. Actions pursue habit. Correct? With your actions, you can change your habits. But to change a character, you need to change your attitude. These are all attitudinal characters, attitudinal features. Okay? So be very clear about these differences that we come across and which has been very clearly mentioned. And knowing this is what will prevent us from getting into the guilt trips and guilt traps that people try to put all of us into all the time. Okay? So these are characteristic flaws, character flaws, attitude flaws. Okay? Maya labdam idam prapsye manoratham. We'll see what these mean. Bound by the 100 ropes of desires, given oneself up to lust and anger. Having given oneself up to lust and anger, you are just following, you are just pursuing that. No matter what, I'll get it. Whether it is nyaya, anyaya, whether I deserve it, whether I don't deserve it, I'm not going to think about it. Just get it. Okay? Kama bhogartham anyayena artha sanchayan. Accumulating hoards of wealth by any means. Forget righteous, unrighteous is all secondary. Maya labdam, all that is gained by me illegitimately is always going to be mine. I hold on to it like that, whatever is held on, that grasp, I will never let go. Okay? Idam asti, idam api me bhavishyati punardhanam. Can always gain it in future too, by all the same means or even worse means. I can do any of these at any point. Okay? These are attitudinal challenges. These are not just habits. That's where I have a problem when we tend to define laws based on habits and don't take into account attitude challenges. Okay, these are critical attitude challenges which we face day in and day out, especially the way the world is heading in a lot of way, in a lot of sense. All right, so need to understand those. What is the bhava behind it? What is going on? Asau maya hataha shatruho hanishye na aparanapi. I have killed so many, I will keep killing, I will kill in future also, whatever I want, I will do. You are a shatru, I will kill. I don't see whether you are doing it right, not doing it right or whatever. Okay. So that is a very different thing from this one. Okay. How many of you have heard of Aham Brahmasmi?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Everybody have.
Yeah.
Mostly everybody must have.
Everybody has heard of Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Ishwaraha. Has anybody heard Aham Ishwaraha?
No.
Why? Aham Brahmasmi, yes.
Because it is equating Jivatma and Paramatma, that is Aham Brahmasmi.
Okay. So what is wrong with Aham Ishwaraha?
I am Ishvara, that is arrogance, saying that I am that supreme being. It's arrogance.
Why is that? Why is this different from that?
This is not the
Would it be?
This is the Ishvara is more like worldly. I am the Lord. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Fran Mahadeva was saying something.
I think that maybe if we say Ishvaraha, we are giving it a Rupam.
One way, yes, that is right. There is another way of looking at it.
You are comparing your individuality. Individually, you are saying I am. No, for individual self, you are saying your Ishvara is wrong.
Okay, one. Okay, Nisha Modaya wants to say something. Okay.
So Tatvatah, basically it means that it's the same Tattvam, but I cannot say I'm Rama or I'm Krishna. So the Tattvam is the Aham Brahmasmi means that Tatvatah we are the same, but I still cannot say that I am the Lord or I am, because I'm not. We are different, but different only in this Nama Rupa.
Absolutely. Correct.
Mahodaya,
Yeah.
Brahmasmi is Upanishad Vakya, no? That Upanishad Vakya is Aham Brahmasmi.
Okay. No, that's exactly the point I'm saying. Why
This
is
is
it? Why is
so-
Aham Brahmasmi acceptable? Aham Ishvara not acceptable.
Because of the upadhi of that human as a human being, he has got the aham as an what?
1 minute. Sushila Modaya, 1 minute. Nagaprabha Modaya was saying something. 1 minute.
Okay.
Like Ham Brahmasmi, there is another slogan, Shivoham.
Shivoham. Shivoham is acceptable. Ishvaroham. Is Ishvaroham acceptable?
Ishvara means I am the Lord of.
Lord, yeah.
Ah. So,
I'm better than others.
You are omnipotent. We cannot be omnipotent in this life, in any life. Yeah.
See, yes, everybody has given a right answer. So let's start with Fran Mohadaya's point, which is which stands from a very fundamental level. Then we'll build up to a more what Nagaprabha Mohadaya just said and what Sushila Mohadaya said, Tattva part, and Nisha Mohadaya said. So when you say Aham Brahmasmi, there the Brahma that is referred to is not the Chaturmukha Brahma. Right? It is the Brahman.
Brahman, not
Yes,
Atma,
Tejan Mohadaya?
Atma Swarup.
Ha.
Atma.
Correct. That is a Paramatman. And you are moving from that Aham, which is the Atma in you. There is a connection between this Atma and that Atma. Right? Shivoham, let's come to Shivoham now. That is also doing the Mangala Bhava. Shiva, what is Shiva? Sham Karoti Shankaraha. Yes, Tejal Mohadaya? Kalyana Mangalam. Correct. That Shivoham Aham Shivaha. Correct? That is also taken as something that is Mangala and you Soham Bhavena Pujayet. We do that. Right? Saha Aham iti Bhavena Pujayet. I'll worship you taking that as this one, and I'll do whatever I do, I will do to you as well. Aham Ishvara means is the hypocritic statement again. I lord over everything and you do what I tell you to do, but I will not do what I'm telling you to do. Right? So that is the difference. And then as Nisha Mohadaya and Sushila Mohadaya also pointed out, the Tattva Bhava is very different. Here it is not connecting of the Atmas. It is lording over something. You are asking for a control. It is not there everywhere. The key thing was Samarpana. Ayamatma Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Everywhere it is Samarpana to that Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi means I totally surrender to you. Here, Ishvaroham, Ishvaraha Aham. It is that Aham is taking a bigger stance. It is not a surrender. So that is a very big challenge. That cannot happen. Aham bhogi. I am the Siddha. Aham bhogi, aham Siddha. Siddha. I know everything. I have become the whatever exalted person that I need to be. Happiness is in power and control. Balavan Sukhi.
So I am Ishvara here means it becomes that he takes the position of that Paramatma.
He takes the position of that, not the Paramatma, he takes the position of the controlling.
The ruler of the
Ruler.
Jagat.
Correct. Jagat. Correct. Ishvara Sancharati. One who is making this world move. Right. Balavan Sukhi. Happiness is in power and control. Right. These are all things that we face day in and out. Some of us also feel this at some point. When we are in control, we feel, okay, fine, that is where I get my happiness from, which is not true. There is also Asuri Bhava. How do you come down? I do a bit of coaching for CEOs and CXOs and all that. So that is the first thing that I say. Are your employees open enough to come to you and talk to you? Do they think that you are controlling? You're a control freak. That is a very important question. This is an Asuri Bhava. And this is very easy to take over us, by the way. The moment you get that control, you think that you can take over. You need to get work done. It is not that you can't get work done. But at the same time, are you a good leader? Are you a leader or a controller? Okay. Odyo Abhijanman asmi. I am rich. Who is there who can match me in this richness? How dare he, rather than this, I should put it, how dare somebody else match me in my richness? How dare somebody else is better than me? How dare I let that happen? So these are all Asuri Bhava.
So whenever we are any reaction, we'll start thinking in those lines, am I doing so?
Correct. Correct. So these are the questions that should come to us before we react to anything. Okay. Yakshye dasyami modishya iti ayagyan avimohitaha. Ayagyan vimohitaha. Ayagyana vimohitaha. Deluded in the arrogance and thinks that I am all forgiving. I am the one who dictates everything. Basically, you're not forgiving anybody or anything. But then you say, I have the power to forgive or not to forgive. Whether you really have that or not, this is what, even starting from Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, we have had so many people who have walked this path. Okay. Aneka chitta vibrantaha. Bewildered by many fancies. Any fancies is just like the other hundreds of lusts taking over, hundreds of desires taking over. Moha jala samavrutaha, entangled in the snare of delusion. Prasaktaha, addicted to sensual pleasures. You are always addicted to things. Okay. Atma sambhavitaha, self-conceited. Stubborn. Stabdaha. And yes, we can be stubborn at whatever points that can come. Dhana mana dhanvitaha, filled with the pride of intoxicated wealth that can happen. Yajante nama yagyaihi dambe avidhi purvakam ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham. Performing the yajna, yes, they also perform yajna. That's why I said yajna is a paraspara bhava. I did not take Chitra Mohdiya's definition of yajna saying yajna bhava is all about giving. That's why I redefined that yajna for this purpose only, as Krishna defined in 3rd chapter, not in the 4th chapter. You can perform the rituals contrary to prescribed scriptures in a pretentious way. Oh, I am doing it. I am giving you so much. In fact, in Taittiriya Upanishad, it comes. What is that? Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya adeyam, shriya deyam, bhiya deyam, hriya deyam. Okay. Samvidadeyam. Give it out of full Shraddha. And he qualifies it further. Ashraddha. If you have Ashraddha, don't even give. Ashraddhaya Adeyam. Shriyadeyam. Give in fullness. Fullness of your heart. It's not fullness of money. Fullness of your heart. To your heart's content, give it. Bhiyadeyam. Give it out of a sense of responsibility. Bhiya here is not fear. It's with a sense of responsibility, thinking what the person receiving will think. Have that sense of attachment to him. Does he think that it is too low? Does he think it is too high? Does he think that it is right? What is going on in his mind? Hriyadeyam. Samvidadeyam. With fullness. With happily. Entirety, just give it. If you can't, just stay back. Don't even get into that. Now, please don't get into this one. This is exactly what that Taittiriya Upanishad says.
Ego.
Don't give it out of ego, power, haughtiness, lust, anger. So, because at the end of every yajna that we do, the key thing is to give a dana. Any yajna karma that is done, you need to give out a dana. Otherwise, yajna is not complete. No yajna is complete without a dana. That is, whatever form of yajna you take it. Every karma that you do has to go with it. Okay? Then, Maam Atma Paradeheshu Pradvishantaha Abhyasuyakaha Abhyasuyakaha Tanaham Vishataha. I hate everybody else, basically. I hate everybody else. Anybody coming to compete with me, I hate him. I will make sure I calm it down. He is not competing with me. That's one level. Second level is the Atma in me is more superior to the Atma in him. That is the highest level of this one that you can get into.
Egoism.
And then the same person will come and talk to you about Advaita. Okay, so that can also happen. For you it is Advaita, for me it is not. So I can give anything. It goes on. That can happen in a lot of ways. Kruran samsareshu naradhaman. Worst among living. Okay, so essentially, you can take back a homework. You can all conclude and count how many of the Asuri Sampat are there and make a matrix of what is Daivi Sampat and what is Asuri Sampat. Okay, how many of these are there? All right. Any questions so far?
None of us are just Daiviha or Asuri. We have a mix of both.
That's why we are human beings.
Yeah.
That's the Kali Yuga, no?
No, not, I mean, like Krodhaha, I mean, that's, I think, at least in me.
No. Krodhaha, that's why I defined Krodhaha differently.
Wrath is what is wrong.
Rama also had Krodha. Jataroshati Bibhyati. That is a different Krodha.
Oh, okay.
There is a good anger and a bad anger. If you are raging, if you
anger which destroys is wrong.
Self-destructive behavior. There's a difference. That's why be very careful about defining these things. That's where it is very important to just blindly not define Krodha as anger. That's where I'm very careful.
One of the terms used for good anger is Punya Prakop.
Punya Prakop. Punya Prakop is usually used in the western part of the India. Quite a bit it is used. Prakop. Prakop is used in a lot of ways. That's why, this Agni can never be defined as fire. It's a very misconceptual way of putting it out. Which Agni? If you say Vaishwarara Agni, can you say it is fire?
No, you can't say because it is digestion.
Right? So the right way of defining it is some sort of a thermodynamic process that is happening. That's where the clear definitions need to be clear. Now there is a difference between same Agni and one. If you say Vanhi, that is closer to fire. Okay, you will never say. In fact, the first mantra of Rigveda says Agnimile Purohidam Yagyasya Devam Ratvijam Hotaram Ratnadhatamam. There you can never say, you cannot replace Agni with Vanhi there. They are not synonymous for that position. I cannot say Vanhi Mile, no, that will go very wrong. Okay. So it's very, very important to define right things in the right way at the right point. And here Atma will mean very different things. Just like the other six different Atmas I showed in 6th chapter. Okay. So any questions till this point?
That the Asuri Sampat, Deivika Sampat depends upon guna basis will people act no Mahodaya.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what I said. It's an attitudinal thing. It's not a habit thing. Habits come from your actions. Repeated actions lead to habit. Character comes from attitudes. Attitudes are defined from a number of things which includes your karma and your guna. Guna, crudely I can define it as your genetic structure in some sense.
Sukshma, what you can say that the second body which actually
Sukshma
Sharira. That is what defines your character, right? Because it has more of your karma.
That will go beyond this class, more they will have to take it outside. That will not be, because Sukshma Sharira, defining Sukshma Sharira itself will take half an hour. Let's not do that.
Like that means Mahodaya, but each and every person, if you take, sometimes guna basis means 3 gunas
have all the 3
everybody.
gunas.
Yeah. So everybody.
So we'll do the Bhagavad Gita class some other time. I have a full-fledged explanation. Gunatraya Vibhavashaha. I have that, what is that? Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhavashaha. We can do a full-fledged class. Then I have a full RGB spectrum of it. What percentage of Sattva, what percentage of Raja, it's fully well defined. And it's there in the very nice concept we can come up with, very nice framework that defines characters in a lot of ways.
So then are we excused because of our inherent character for the way we behave?
No.
So yeah, in a lot of ways, yes, definitely. See, if you read Manusmriti, I'll give a very simple example. You're absolutely right about it. Yes. If you go by the guna and definition of the Varnashrama Dharma based on the gunas, see, Manusmriti, I'll give a simple example. Let us say there is a punishment to be meted out to somebody for committing a crime. Correct? Current day law and order system says everybody gets the same punishment, irrespective of who has committed it. You know what Manusmriti says? Let us say you define the quantum of punishment for an act committed by somebody by a Shudra. It starts with a Shudra then. Okay? Or a very tamasic person, extremely tamasic person. Okay, whose gunas are extremely tamasic. Let's call it. Okay. Let's say you define that quantum of punishment as X. It says for a Vaishya, if the same crime committed by a Vaishya
X plus 2.
4x.
4x. Yeah.
It goes 4x.
He should know better. Yeah.
Yeah, he should know better. The same crime committed by a Kshatriya, okay, it goes to 8x. Okay. The same crime committed by a Brahmana, he says, okay, let's say it should be 16x. Basically, going by that, it should be 16x is what he says. Then he says, no, 16x, nah. Shodasha, nah. 64x.
Oh.
Because he's supposed to be a learned person who should know all that.
Yeah.
Right. This is how the whole thing works. Now, if we don't understand the framework, hardly anybody reads this and comes back and talks about it, and then people go burn a lot of things and get out. But this is how things are supposed to work. Okay, this is in one way. So, of course, it is rewards and recognition and punishment will go hand in hand. Now, if you are willing to take that sort of punishment, you'll also have that sort of reward in a different way. Right? So, that is what defines this whole system. That is where it goes. Okay, any other questions? So, guna in a very lean parlance, it can be genetic way of thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Very
Very
interesting.
But then you, because it is a guna based, you can't. It isn't that you can't change, or
You can. It's a slow process. It is a slower process. Changing in attitude is a slower process.
And that doesn't mean the person doesn't get punished for what he does.
Okay. Yeah. See, as I said, we'll take that discussion beyond. Okay. Because Sukshma Sharira will take a long time. This is not the class for Sukshma Sharira. No. Okay. Jaybal and Bika Mahodaya, you had something to add?
No, Mahodaya, nothing.
Okay. Okay. Then I have a couple of things that I want to talk before we move to the next, this one. Let me finish them off. So first thing, Krishna says, what should be done with those in the how to lead a life. Okay. So these are some shlokas that he says how to behave and how to what happens to these people. Tan, here Tan refers to those in the Asuri Sampat. Okay. Tanaham dvishata kruran samsareshu naradhaman kshipami ajasram ashubhan asurishveva yonishu. Those who behave like this, those who have this sort of thing, get born in the Asuri Yoni. That is what it says. That's why a lot of questions come to me, Ravana was born to a Brahmana. So he was Brahmana's son. So he is a Brahmana. How can you call him a Rakshasa? Well, his mother was a Rakshasi. It takes two to tango. That's why it is called a Brahma Rakshasa. Very simple. No questions asked. Similarly, Ghatotkacha is also a Rakshasa. Bhima's son. But he was a good Rakshasa. He had Bhima's this one. He got some. His mother was somebody who was good enough. So because of some curse she was there. So it became a good this one. Okay. Yetam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanolpa buddhayah prabhavan tyugra karmanah kshayaya jagato hitah. Yetam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanah alpabuddhayah. They're all alpabuddhayah. Prabhavantyugra karmanah kshayaya jagato hitah. Kill them. Kill them. Simple. There is no questions of, do something and have this and everything. Asuri yonim apanna muda janmani janmani. It goes on. The cycle goes on and on once you are there. Mam aprapyaiva kaunteya tato yantyadhamam giri gatim trividham narakasyaidam dvaram nashanamatmanah kama krodhastatha lobha tasmadetattrayam tyajet. Yes, Parvati Mahodaya.
Then when you kill somebody, so you're judging them and you're taking responsibility to get rid of it. So that's not right. That's one of the bad gunas, right?
No, you are supposed to be. That's where your Kshatriya quality comes up, no? You are supposed to know who is right and who is having this one.
Yeah.
Right. For Lokahita, you are doing something. See, who is an Asuri? That's why you need to be very clear. Killing somebody, ahimsa is not about not hurting somebody. Ahimsa is about making sure nobody is hurt, including yourself.
Yeah.
If you see somebody hurting and killing somebody, you better go and stop it and you better take action if you are a Kshatriya.
That is why Rama was saying that I am the king, and so I have to protect the rishis and I have to kill these Rakshas, even though they were living in their own houses, in their own places of inhabitants.
So just imagine, can a policeman who is probably not in his jurisdiction, seeing a crime being committed, not go and stop there?
Yes, stop. Yeah.
Can't.
He is his duty, right?
His duty.
He has to. He has to.
Like that, doctor can hold knife.
Yeah, doctor can hold a knife. Correct. If he says, I will not perform the operation, can it happen? There are certain things that are given as you're an expert and you need to do that, right? Okay. So look at this. Trividam narakasyedam dvaram nashanam kamaha krodaha tatha lobaha tasmat etatrayam tyajet.
Leave the
Get
all
rid of
these.
these things.
Get rid of these.
Trividam narakasyedam dvaram dashanatmanah. It will open the, it will very happily open the
doors of
naraka for
Doors
you.
of Naraka.
It is always, they hold the key and they are waiting for you to just have this. Okay. And this is another one. Asurim yoni mapanna muda janmani. It is going to go on and on and on. Maam aprayaiva kaunteya tato yatya damam gatim. Come to me. That's why don't get into this nonsense. Okay. Then yeah. Etair vimukta kaunteya tamodvarai srivir naraha आचारत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति parangatim. Okay, so these are the three adeshas that is given, basically how to behave. Yash shastra vidimusrujya vartate kamakaratah na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na parangatim. तस्मात् शास्त्रं प्रमाणन्ते कार्याकार्यव्यवस्थितौ ज्ञात्वा शास्त्रविधानोक्तं कर्म कर्तुमिहार्हति. So tasmat shastram pramanam te, as per the shastra and pramana, karya akarya vyavasthitau, get to know them well. Don't get into that trouble. Gyatva, having known that, Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi.
Follow the
Your duty.
Do the duty.
Just see, looking at Ravana, the moment you start looking at Ravana, you'll realize he knew all this. That's why his punishment was multifold. It is not like he did not know all these things. He knew a lot more than these things, but still behaving in the wrong way. Okay, so what? Okay, I had one nice slide. What I will do, well, we'll probably start with that slide next class. Okay. Okay. So
Dhanyavadaha. Very interesting.
any thoughts? Anything on this one? Okay.
Mainly, he points out this Asuri guna, three gunas, no? Kama, Krodha, and Lobha.
Kama, Krodha, Lobha.
They'll lead you to all those
Others.
characteristics which he said.
Yeah, he said this will lead you to hell. These three.
Okay, not just hell. So what he means by that is perhaps, they open the doors of hell. So here hell is a figurative thing that is said. Asuri yoni.
Suffering. Yeah.
Suffering and Asuri yoni. You get into that Asuri, this one, and this is how you become that. So that is
how to get out of this Asuri guna. He gives solution.
Guna, you have to do a lot of things. We'll see that in this one of Kabanda. Kabanda story is about that. You have to go through it. 1 minute, Chitra Madhya, 1 minute. So basically, Nagaprabha Madhya, what you need to do is you need to go through it. There is no other way of getting out of it without working yourself out of it. You need to keep working and changing and changing and changing. Once you get thrown into it, that is a repeated cycle. So see, that's why I said habits can be changed with just regular practice. To change an attitude, you need to work quite a bit. It's a lifelong process. Character, that's why it is very important to take care of children at a very, very young age and make sure that you are paying all the attention to what they are doing. Right? And they learn through action. See, if the parent's character is something, trust me, most of the times they may fight with you, they may not like you, they may quarrel with you as teens, they may run away from whatever is being done, but that is just a reflection of something that is going on, that is all. But trust me, at the end of it, they are no different from the parents when it comes to anything. It can be, I can give it to you in writing. I speak to a lot of children, I speak to a lot of people. All you need to do is look at the parents and you'll get to know what the child is almost. Most of the times it will be true. It's very rare that it is not. So that comes up. That's why it is attitude thing. It becomes an attitude challenge. Attitudes change over lifetimes. So it's the way it goes. Yes, Chitra Madhya, you are saying something.
Kamaha, suppose a person is capable of fulfill his desire. Is it okay?
So see, 7th chapter, Krishna clearly says, no, dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharadorishapa. If it is not against dharma, I am that kama. That's what he says, no? So you go fill it. If you are within the framework of dharma, you want to do it, go do it. Who is preventing you? That's where ishta kama dukha. Milk your cow of desires through that yajna framework. I've given you a framework called yajna. Go milk your cow of desire. That is what 3rd chapter is all about. You want to go to a jnana and get out of this janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, this cycle of birth and death over and again. Then you get into that prasada buddhi and all that. Ishvara bhava, prasada buddhi and all that, and give samarpana bhava.
Mahodaya, people say, I mean, it is said that a person who wants to get out of the cycle, he has to have done some punya to change his, or to follow the path of jnana. He has to have some punya. But doing that punya, how will he do? How will he have got that punya when he has got this asuri bhava?
So it is simple. So no, it is not like you can't do anything. You can't do good things in this one. Satsangatve, nissangatvam, nissangatve, nirmohatvam, nishtalatatvam.
That nirmohatvam, if you have, then you are not an asuri, you know.
So that's where it comes. No, see, a lot of it gets fixed when you are born. Then it's the surrounding. How you choose your surrounding? You choose your surrounding based on your characters. Do we all?
Then the choosing of the characters of the surrounding is also based on the character.
Absolutely.
And if the character is of an asuri bhava, then how
that
will
is
you
where you need to
change
break
the
yourself
path?
out. That is where you need to break yourself out and then try to choose.
So then it is your free. Then again, we say that everything is you follow, your life is already been done because of your karmas. If it is so, correct, then it is already. If I am going through a jnana path, that is also written before, or it is already destined. Because, so then where is the question of changing your path? That is what I am trying to ask.
So it is like this. Let us say you are on that jnana path. Okay. You get the free will to say, okay, I don't want to follow it now. You still make that free choice to say, I'll go on this path. You can still say, I don't want to go on this path.
Okay, yeah.
Right? That is still there in you.
Yes.
Just like, I'll come back to that final statement of Krishna. Yada ichhati
you can do anything. You can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want. I'll guide you. Our whole philosophy is I'll guide you. You choose what you want to do. It's never about forcing anybody and putting somebody in some place.
But even then, I feel in my question, even then is that the free will also depend on your own character. So if you
No. Let me answer that differently. Your karma will depend on your character. Your surroundings, what will come to you, what will happen to you will all depend on your karma that has happened. Okay?
Yes.
The surroundings that you are in is also to some extent chosen by your karma.
Karmas, yes.
But the decision you make at that instantaneous point is strictly your free will. That is not somebody else making it for you.
But if
you can never blame that. That is why we say, for us, we cannot go to in Christianity, for instance, it is there. You go to the church, I'll write off everything and all the sins are taken by Jesus. That does not happen in our case. You have punya, you accumulate punya, you go enjoy your punya, come back, you have papa. It's a balance sheet. It is not a profit loss statement. You can't set off punya against papa. No, it doesn't happen. It's a balance sheet. It's a, what is that called? There's
It's an account. It's an account to be.
It's an account, yes. It is a going concern, right? Nisha Modi, am I right? It is called going concern, no, in commerce terms, in finance terms.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
going concern. It's a going concern.
But then
It is
if you
not
are
a property.
Ajnana, how will you come out?
Yeah,
If you're,
that's
It's very
yeah,
interesting
if you are
discussion.
Ajnana,
Ajnana is you that is
then
where you
how
need
do you-
guru. That's where you need guru. That's where you need the guidance, and you need to follow. You need to do things. It will come.
for that you need punya to reach a guru. So
Yeah.
it's a big cycle going
Yeah,
through.
not easy. Yeah.
Yes, Nisha Modi, you have a
That
question.
should not be, I just want to add that it should not be an excuse for us to not act. On our part, we have to make an effort.
Correct.
We have to put in the effort, and
That's the free
sure
will,
it will
no?
work. If next Janma we may be born with a better attitude, a better character, and then it moves on like that. So the effort is for ours. The result is not.
Correct.
Yeah.
As a effort, that's where free will comes in. The effort that you put in is purely yours. And with what attitude you put in that effort is also yours. Whether it's fully with Shraddha, whether it is with, Ashraddha, it's all up to you. Yes, Subramani Mahodaya. I think people are.
Basically, so I was also going through this the thing. So suppose we want to achieve moksha, and if a person is only doing punya, then he has to take birth again.
Yes.
So a person who is doing only punya and no papa, and you will not be able to attain moksha.
No, it is not possible. Because punya also has to be exhausted out.
Yeah.
Not only I mean, I've also read it like, even if you have exhausted both papa and punya, somebody who has to give their part of it to you, that also you will have to be around.
That is also papa punya. No? That also is accounted for as papa punya. That's also accounted in that same thing.
Oh God.
So the zero balance is it's a difficult.
Impossible.
It's
No, it doesn't
impossible.
practically reach. Don't worry.
But unless you are a big yogi or something, I mean, you have to reach that level of it.
No, I mean, that's where you need to keep. No, it is not just that. See, for instance, Karna got moksha. Karna got moksha in spite of all the things. See, it's about how you surrender it, with what bhava you surrender. See, there are examples. It is not like there are no examples. In the entire Mahabharata, only 2 people got moksha.
But that is because they were already, they were born because of a curse, who are actually...
Not quite. Karna had accumulated enough karma around. So it was pure.
Mahodaya, both hell and heaven are temporary states, not a permanent.
Yes, absolutely. All states are temporary in our scheme of things. That goes back to our what is that? Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya.
And everybody comes back, whether they have done punya or pava, they have to come back to Martyoloka.
Everything.
Mahodaya, in your account, more punya is there. Then you will yoga brashta.
Yoga brashta na jayate. It will not become. You will be what is that? Shuchi naam Srimatam gehe. Then you will come back in that house and all that. It is there. You'll be in a better
surroundings.
Progress.
It is said.
Arjuna was very smart. He said, look, I'm going to follow all that you are saying, but if my time comes, if I die, what will happen to me? All this punya I have accumulated, all these good things I am doing, then you are saying, what will happen to all those things? That will go away. No. He said, no, don't worry. I'll take care of your accounting part. You may not remember, but I'll remember. That's what Krishna said. He was very clear in answering that question. So we have everything covered. So there are no loose ends here. So we'll do that some other time. It was an interesting session. Thank you, everybody. So yeah, it's already 8:45. Thank you so much. There is so much of interest. I'm very glad. So probably, let's see, if we can float a Bhagavad Gita course around this, it will be good. Okay. No, I think.
Asha Seva Kendram has.
Yeah, somebody is doing it, I think.
I'm part of that. So that's why I know a little bit. Yeah. We've just come up to chapter 6. Yeah.
Oh, very good, very good. Then
But it's just the chanting. So I try to get the meanings by myself. Yeah, I read up.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, then I don't need to bother so much. Somebody is doing the hard work. Very good. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But it's only chanting.
Yeah, it's only chanting. Yeah.
Oh, it is not this one, is it?
No
It's not
meaning.
meaning. I see.
Shasivakandra just the chanting. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Let us see. Okay. Oh, then there is scope for meaning this one.
Yes, yes.
Let us see.
But there are
Next
some.
year, then I'll have to stop teaching Sanskrit
Yes.
and start doing Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Brahmabhyo Shobhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshitu Parjanyah Prithivi Sasishalini Shoyam Shobharita Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Aputra Putrinas Santu Pautrinaha Atanat Sadanat Santu Jivantu Shardam Shatam Shinvan Ramayanam Bhaktya Sayati Padameva Va Sayati Brahmanasthanam Brahmana Pujyate Sada Harihi Om Shri Krishna Arpanam